Well, especially on the cauliflower, it's uncomfortable.
You got cauliflower ear?
Just on the left one. I got a little bit on the inside of the right one, and but the left one because I got such a big ear.
Oh yeah, I see a little cauliflower
Look at
there.
that thing. It's a nugget because I got a big ear, so it hides.
All right, let's start the show now, and let's
Let's
see
do it.
what we just selected on this loop here.
Yeah.
That's a good.
Man, you
there
nailed
we
it.
go.
Come on.
All right,
It's like you've done this before.
a little bit,
Oh,
but that one was actually a guess. We'll take it. Why not?
wow. Man,
This thing's pretty sweet, right?
this is insane.
So you come in here, you got all these loop samples.
Is this a program you downloaded?
Yeah, so it's an app. It's called Splice. Basically, people go in, they create their own like sample libraries of stuff. And so a sample is basically like a pre-recorded thing, whether it's a single hit, whether it's like a loop like this.
Yeah.
So you can just build songs, and then you can put in like these are called like one-shot sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh,
like,
I love this.
you have like different. Let's see, like you could put in like a kick, like.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, stuff like that. So,
So dope.
right? Pretty sweet,
This is insanely cool.
right? And so, I mean, so this even, there's like a piano here too.
Ooh. This is so cool. This is the dude. What is this? What's that word where people get they feel anxious and I think it begins with an S and ends with two S's, and they get like anxiety and
Sassafras?
it's that sounds like a much better word. But I was thinking about it's stress and I forgot about it.
Woo!
Wow, that's what this place is doing right now.
Dude,
These
thanks for
beats.
coming and doing this, man.
This is fun. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Dude, I've been having a lot more fun now that I'm not doing the video piece of this, and we can just fucking sit and talk. Cheers, buddy. Thanks
Cheers
for
to
bringing
you.
this over.
Of course, a little Shiner holiday cheer for real. From the Spetzel Brewery in Shiner, Texas.
Woo. Dude, we've been talking about doing this for a while.
Yes, we have.
I wanted to ask you about some military stuff.
Oh,
your
go ahead.
background in that. I think this is the perfect music to talk about military stuff.
I think it is. Well, I grew up listening to all kinds of music,
Yeah.
but I was a big reggae fan.
Were you?
Still am. All the old school stuff, the old Bub
Mm-hmm.
and Peter Tosh and all them, and having some mellow beat always made it right.
Dude, you ever roll to reggae?
That's one of my favorite things. Parkinson too. Both of them, Dave and Megan. When we first started doing the Happy Mats thing, our favorite thing to put on was reggae. And when most of the time, if I'm in charge of music, I'd rather have that on. But I mix it up for everybody else too, because it can't just be. It's not my show.
Yeah.
Out on the mats, but man, I prefer reggae.
Reggae gets you in the flow.
Oh, 100%.
And whenever, you know what's funny? Like if there's music on that I actually really like, if I know the music, I roll 1.5 times better. Just
I'm
'cause,
right
like,
there with you.
You know, because like you can relax. I can start to have fun with it more.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a pretty uptight person. A lot of people are like, "You're so chill. You're chill." Like my wife and I were joking about this.
Are you
Like,
serious?
yeah.
You're uptight?
yeah, and so is my wife.
No way.
Yeah, we're uptight, but everybody's like, "You guys are so chill," and I think it is funny because she's like, "Yeah, my girlfriends will be like, oh my God, your husband's so calm and like he always seems like so chill," and she's like, "You guys don't fucking know him. He is uptight as shit."
Wow, that's weird.
Right?
Especially rolling with you so many times, you don't feel that. Like it's like you relax and just let yourself go.
I try to, because I try to not take my uptightness out on other people as much as possible. It usually ends up happening. It can happen at work. It happens in the situations where, like, I'll be falling behind in something. And you feel that, that work pressure, especially like I do sales. So it's like, if you're not hitting that deadline, like that's where that kind of uptightness can really unleash itself.
I know.
And it comes out in weird ways, like,
yeah. I just sometimes depends on how tired I am. I'll just zone for a minute to let it run its course, because I can't control it mentally and emotionally. You get keyed up because you want to fix whatever the issue is that has you behind or off track, or so you're not going to hit what you need to hit that day, whatever your goals are that day.
That's a good point. I think that the patience piece has been helpful. Like I even had this recently, going through just a few weeks of being off. Like you go through, I don't want to call it like depression, because I don't think it's like a temporary kind of depression where you when you go through.
Still call it depression. I've been ups and downs with that recently.
Yeah, and so
it's fatigue.
Yeah, and so you go through these phases, and one of the things now that I'm realizing is like, oh, okay, this does pass. Like it's like I might feel like shit either just today. It may persist for, in that case, it was like a little over 2 weeks. And it was just like, there's a sense of, okay, let me step back. It's not the end of the world. I'm going to be all right. Let's just ride this out. I'm going to do the best that I can. Like I'm going to do the stuff I need to do, and I'll do my best to do some of the stuff that like I should, quote, should be doing. And then, I just give myself the break for those couple, however long that time lasts, of like, hey, I might not have made 100 calls in a day for sales, but I called 25 people, and I did all the reach outs for all the people I needed to keep stuff moving, to make sure I'm not like putting other people in jeopardy. And that's been a big change lately too. Is like, I think having kids helps with that, because it's not so much all about me. So I can kind of think like, oh, all right, I'm in sales. I'm the person that's helping bring in the money, which helps make sure that everybody else has a job. So like, okay, you can have your little pity party, but also like at least get your core shit done. And then when you're feeling better, then go out and like move things forward.
I like that.
And
helps you stay focused on moving forward rather than collapsing into that spiral of oh no, and then you're juggling, and then you try to do it all at the same time, and then you're not going to get it done.
Dude, spiral's a good word for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how,
because I feel it.
Yeah,
that's what my brain does.
Does it?
Oh yeah.
Is that
just like last week? I messed something up at work at the day job, and actually paid for it. I was going to, and then the boss also said, "Hey, that's the second time on that one, and it cost money." So, but I took a deep breath, and it just kind of threw our whole. Something happened in the morning where things didn't go properly, and it was a combination of things. So it kind of set my day off, and my brain was trying to catch up, but my hands and my brain weren't connecting because of the spiral. Because I could feel it emotionally, mentally, because I kept trying to overthink everything, and I made and it would cost me $50.
Okay,
which isn't bad. Could have been worse, but when you do the math on what the sales would have been on that, it was several $100s.
Yeah.
So that was in my head, and I let it, like it pulled the plug on the drain, so to speak, and that's when it spiraled, and I'm like trying to save it.
Okay.
Instead of taking a deep breath and going, all right, let me check everything.
Yeah.
I couldn't get it out of my head.
And
I was tired.
And so was that what caused it? So the spiral was happening before or after it?
The spiral happened right before. It started happening before it, which kind of caused it, and then that's when it just I couldn't get the plug back in the drain to take a deep breath and move forward because the day was cruising.
Dude, it's sometimes like something shitty that happens in the morning can really throw your day off. Like and it is it's hard to bounce back too.
Oh yeah,
and you gotta you ever read the 4 Agreements? You ever read that book?
No, where did that go? Somebody Jiujitsu related, I think, in Delaware was talking about that years ago.
Yeah.
And I never got a chance to do that. I got to check that out. Tell me about it.
It's good. One of the things I haven't read in a few years, but like one of the things is like don't take things personally, which is super hard, but especially when you're in that kind of spiral too.
Yep.
Because you're like, oh, yeah. Oh, that's what you think? It's because you hate me because I'm a piece of shit, right?
Well, on that incident, that like I made the mistake, and I felt bad because of the negative impact on the team. And every time somebody ordered something and they're like, "Sorry, we don't have that available right now." Oh, dear Lord, help me through. I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
And then it made me miss my kids even more, which is interesting because you're dad. So
yeah,
it just made me think about all the ups and downs in life. It all came. That's the spiral. Kind of pulled that in where the mental and emotional drain was there, and it was like going into this big cistern, if you will, in my mind. Like it's the best way I can make something that somebody can visualize about what it felt like in the moment. And I had all 4 of my biological kids with my first ex-wife. And, divorce happens about 10 years in. So since 2008, I didn't have them full time. But before that, just dropping them off at daycare, I just wanted to be around them. So
yeah,
it hurt. And then it brought me all the way back to the fall of 2000, the first time I dropped my older 2 off at daycare, and my oldest son grabbed onto my leg, and I had that same feeling of, man, I am the worst dad, I'm the worst human, I'm a terrible person, I'm not even a man anymore. That's what the spiral pulled from deep within my heart and my head when I had that mistake Friday. And I kept thinking about the guys I was working with. And I'm like, man, I'm just letting everybody down. And it made me miss my kids so much. I was like, man, I wish I could hug them. They're like 1,000 miles away. And they're adults now too. It's weird. So I'm like, I just want to call them and hug them.
Dude, yeah. I got a 2-year-old, and then I got another one that's going to be born in a month. Mm-hmm. I'm not in that situation remotely close to that. But now as you're saying that, like, I could visualize that for sure.
Yeah.
Because, it's helpful having, in this case, like a 2-year-old and like people that depend on you, because it does dampen the blows that come with living and working and all that shit. Like, when a few weeks ago, I'm talking to this guy from a manufacturer, and I'm trying to like explain to them the benefits, and he's sharp, knows his stuff, former military guy, so like is not like no bullshit at all, and was being like as polite as he could, but he wasn't getting support from the other people there. And so like he was basically telling me that like what we do is like worthless in some way. It's standard like sales push off, like
sure, somebody
else is getting heat for the thing that you're selling, so you become the like target. But he was respectful. So, like, I have no animosity towards it, and that's probably what helped. But, like, in the past, when I was younger, it really has nothing to do with him.
Mm-hmm.
But in the past, when I was younger, I'd have been like, oh, that guy, like, hates me. And I would be thinking that person is like, oh, he's fucking thinking about me all the time. Like, I'm eating dinner, and that guy's like, this fucking kid called. And now that I got, like, I have a family, it's just like, that call sucked. Okay, well, I actually have a pathway to kind of change his mind. It's going to take me 6 months to a year, and then I'm going to deliver on it. So he might not see it now, but, like, this is going to be fine. And I think part of it is having, like, kids and a family that re-ground you in that. But then I can see 20 years from now when you don't have that, like, that same shit can fucking come back in. Did you feel like that stuff diminished a little bit when you had little kids?
I thought it was more intense for me back then, because I thought, man, I really got to do this right for them.
Yeah.
But I had the reward of going home to them. Mm-hmm. I got to hold them, and just the way they smell too. You just pick them up, and you're just like, oh, that's my kid.
Yeah.
And it's soothing. So I had that comfort from that. So that's why in this stage that you're in, it is such a blessing to have that, so you can come home, and it does dampen those blows because you're like, I'm going to be okay. I'm still a dad. I'm still a husband. I get to go home, and I'll have some comfort and some solace. I'm in my little castle.
Yeah. And
I remember those days. And that's why, being so far separated by time and distance and just the way that life plays out sometimes, man, it all came back Saturday. And I'm like, man, this is really intense. But then I went, man, I'm tired. All right. Nobody died. Nobody's sick. I didn't break any fingers on anybody accidentally. We'll figure it out. And then it ended up being an okay day. And then this past week was good. And it's just, I got some sleep. And that made the difference.
Sleep is huge, man. That's something that I don't do well. I view a lot of things as like, oh, I've got a limited amount of time, so I got to make the most. And half the time, I don't even do good shit. Like, if I just spent the time and actually got the sleep. But I do enjoy, part of what I enjoy is I like being awake when a lot of other people aren't awake. I don't know.
Late at night or in the morning, or does it matter?
Usually late at night because that's just kind of my default.
Okay.
But I don't wake up early in the morning often, but when I do, I really enjoy it. It's just
what's early in the morning to you?
4 in the morning.
Jeez, yeah, that's...
Yeah, 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah, I'm usually getting up between 4:30 and 5.
Are you?
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
No, not good for me. I need more sleep.
Well, what time do you go to bed?
I don't finish at the grounds until... lately, we've been working on it. Brian and the team have been great about making sure that as soon as we're done, I'm on my cleaning tasks.
Just
getting out of there by 10. If I can get out of there by 10, I can usually be home by 11-ish.
Yeah.
And then my goal is to, but I got training gear to throw in the laundry, switching laundry.
Gotta make sure it gets in the dryer before
I wake up in the morning and do it because there's like a delay on it. And then since I rent from my brother, he'll have stuff in the washer sometimes or in the dryer, so I gotta re-dry that.
Yep.
Switch it, and then I gotta eat, gotta get cleaned up.
Yep.
And then I get in bed and I'm like trying to finish eating and falling asleep.
Yep.
So, a lot of times I'm getting 3 to 4, and that's not healthy.
No.
Not for the activity level I keep up. And
yeah.
I'm working on it. And
especially rolling too.
And teaching.
Yep.
Like leading the class, and I'm going, man, I know this stuff. Like, why I feel like my brain's
not firing.
Yeah, and I'm working on that. I'm working on my nutrition. That's something we'll talk about too, about the healthcare stuff we were talking about.
So what are you doing?
Okay, I got back in the spring, I got a micronutrient that's hard to say. Micronutrient profile done. And then I added some more things. So I got a big bunch of blood work done. Found out where I was nutrient deficient. Found out I was low in the testosterone and high in the estrogen. A couple other things. Found out what I needed to take.
It makes sense, man.
I know. Everyone
I feel the femininity.
100% on the mats too.
Yeah.
And
totally.
For sure.
Fuck, Monday's going to suck.
No, it's not. It's going to be awesome. Because I'll just be laying there. It's okay. No, I got wrecked. I got wrecked today at Open Mats.
Really?
By a 15-year-old purple belt who's been training for 10 years straight. He's Professor Danielson Pimenta's son, Arthur. And he just grew up training. But it was so gentle. It was like soft, gentle lightning, if that makes sense.
Yep.
I know I'm going to die, but I wasn't scared, of course. But man, did that guy have a grip. He's young. He's 15, and he's a world-class competitor.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And, his dad is an amazing competitor, too. And he's... maybe somewhere between 5'8" and 5'9". And of course, Arthur's smaller, and he took me down with smoothness, and then stayed on top the whole time. And it was amazing. And then the other black belts who were there from Evolution, they said, "Oh, don't worry, he does that to everybody." I said, "I wasn't worried at all. I mean, I'm almost 50. I'm not rolling this because I'm going to be some world champion." And it didn't make me feel like, oh man, I'm illegitimate in what I do or my rank. But man, it was invigorating in a way, because I thought, wow, man. For a second there, I'm thinking, if I had started sooner, if I'd been able to stay consistent, well, that didn't happen. I was twice his age when I started.
Yeah.
Mind blowing.
Did you start at 30?
Yeah. It's crazy.
So you've been doing jiu-jitsu for like 20 years now, then? Almost. I
had a year. So I started in 2004. My older two kids started, and then baby mama and I started shortly thereafter. And I stayed with it longer. And then after the first year, right about the first year, we found out she was pregnant. And we found out before that. And then about a year into training, she was like, "Hey, we're moving, so it's going to be hard to keep that up." So I took a 7-year hiatus.
Okay, so
it was rough.
So you really started back closer to 40 then.
Started, yeah, that's correct. About 37 is when I got in and stayed consistent. So for the last 12 years.
But okay.
I've had injuries, illnesses. Technically, was clinically dead for a little over a minute and a half. Yeah, 2000, early 2000, Dave Parkinson made me go to the ER.
In early 2000?
January 2000, he made me go to the ER.
Like 23 years ago?
No. Oh, sorry, 2020, my bad. 2020, 2000, what am I saying? 2020.
Oh,
numbers. Okay. I'm a Marine. I didn't have crayons today, so I'm a little off on math. But 2020, we were in church together, and my heart rate spiked, and they had him come in. Ironically, which coincidentally, a weird coincidence, we were dressed identically. And it happens every once in a while with us. We'll show up somewhere and we're dressed exactly the same color scheme, or it'll be like flipped. But that day, it was the same exact color scheme, outfit type of.
You had the same weird dress on and everything?
Yeah, it was same gray slacks, but it was a dress. And then same black high top shoes.
They're pushing Dave down on the ground. Sure.
It was like, are you guys in a uniform? No, we're not. It's just same black polo.
I'd like to tell you about Jehovah.
Yeah, it was a black hat and everything. It was so weird. And then he's like, "Dude, your heart rate's..." I knew it was up there, but it was stuck between 175 and 225 for an hour and a half. So.
Ooh, shit. Did they have to do that thing where they like re-inject you to like stop your heart?
Yeah. They slammed it into the IV. It was the adenosine.
Yeah, my mom had to have that twice.
Serious? It only took the one time. They almost gave me a second round.
2 separate times, like months apart.
Oh, yeah. That's not fun. So she'll tell you, like, your heart stops and it's quiet inside, and they keep telling you to breathe deeply. And I'm breathing deeply, and I'm like, man, this is trippy. And the doctor looked like he could be Dave Grohl's brother. So I'm like, man, this is weird.
So he was screaming in your face?
No, he was super chill. The chillest ER doctor I've ever met.
He was the reggae brother.
He was just calming. Just walked in the room. He's like, yeah, seems like there's something wrong with your heart. All matter of fact about it. And so when somebody explained it to me later, like, yeah, technically, like, you're clinically dead there. It's a good thing your heart started, because then they explain, if it doesn't work, they do it again. If it doesn't work after, they do it one more time. And then they hit you with the paddles. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
That's that. I've been shocked by electricity before. I don't want paddles of it on my chest, thanks.
What led to your heart?
Dehydration, stress, a lot of stress and dehydration is what they're thinking, and some nutrients being off. I mean, it's chemical imbalances. Who the heck? Somebody said that today earlier. Tom Gallagher.
Okay.
Said that. He said it's chemical imbalances. His wife has a similar heart thing. And then 2 weeks ago I was in ER for that because it cranked up.
Just 2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Yeah. I should have gone right after training. I should have driven myself there. But then I took Jordan home and then went home, and I'm like, I'll be okay. And nothing, the usual things to help bring it back down weren't working. And after 12 hours straight of being awake, I didn't sleep that night. 12 hours straight of it being up and down, because it would like crank up to like, in the like 158, 159, and then drop down to like 40 something. And then just rev back up and hang out way high, and then drop on me.
Fuck.
It was annoying. But a lot of that, it's a combination of stress and the fatigue. Then they go hand in hand with each other. I'm stressed because I'm fatigued. So I'm working on that, and get some blood work done on. I'll have some blood work done on Tuesday, and that's checking my testosterone levels because September-ish. I started on the TRT. I notice a difference now. I feel better. I'm not as achy in like my joints and my back. I feel better. I just need to once I get the sleep thing down, it's really going to pay off.
Do you feel like you've gotten stronger from doing it?
I don't think that, you mean like, wow, like,
no, like
you see the UFC guys who are on TRT and
it could be that. Do you want another one of these?
Of course I do. They're delicious. Thank you. I should finish it. That's why I brought it. I'm glad you like it. Thank you. It's refreshing too. It's not too heavy, and I don't like a light beer. I like like you were saying, ales to.
I don't like IPAs.
Porters. No, they're.
I think I have like a wheat allergy or something because I'll have this or like a IPA or like one of the wheat beers, like instantly my face puffs, like not my face but like the inside of my face, like my sinuses and all.
I feel like you're puffing up now.
No.
Yeah.
No. I think when stuff's not mass produced, I don't get the same reaction. But like I got Dos Equis in here, and like I have a half of one, and all my sinuses are like.
It's their sourcing.
Yeah, it's probably loaded with all kinds of
glyphosate. And,
all that shit.
Because they're not looking at what that's going to do when you start cooking it.
No, they don't care. Yeah, I mean, it's like it is what it is. That. I think that's just what happens when these companies get to that size. Is like they just go through that pattern of like, fuck it, we gotta put out a million. I'm making this up, like a million X amount of cans, a million cans. We need as much stuff as we can get in order to do it. Like, secure it. And they're like, all right, we don't care how it's done. Just get us this stuff. And then these farmers are like, well, throw all this shit on it. But we got a way bigger yield. So here you guys go. We could do it for cheaper.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
They want everything sped up too. to get it done.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Which is going back to the heart thing. I mean, it's not always the best thing. And I've learned recently, just diving back into my faith more. And it's weird because I every time I think I'm all right, I'm right where I need to be. It's just I got to dive deeper. And same thing with jiujitsu and making those good connections with people, which I love about the grounds culture and how Coach Fry is just always poured into that, man. It just makes it righteous.
Yeah,
so
dude, it's a cool fucking place.
That's an understatement.
Yeah. Dude,
and that's helped too, having a team there, having the staff team, and having everybody else actually care. Because they're like, yo, you okay? And I'm like, I will be. And I'll slap my watch on, look at my heart rate, and I'm like, just give me a minute to breathe. And then I'm like right back at it, and they're like, you sure? I'm like, dude, I gotta go through it. And then once I get the fatigue thing down, and I figure out, and I've been adjusting the nutrients and looking into the nootropic side of things, the mushroom side of things. There's a guy named Sean Ryan. He's former Navy SEAL.
Okay.
Does a podcast called Vigilance Elite, or the Sean Ryan Show, but he's got Vigilance Elite as the company he started. And he starts the show with, hey, I'm now partnered with Laird Superfood, Laird Hamilton.
I got some of the coffee creamer.
So good. So good.
All the different mushrooms and stuff.
Yeah, I just got some and just had my first cup this morning. My heart was fine.
Yeah.
And I talked to Tom Gallagher, and he was like, dude, I don't think it's caffeine related. It's definitely stress and fatigue related. That'll do it. And same thing, Parkinson's thinking the same thing. I cut out caffeine for a little over 2 weeks, and then until today. I mean, I had like a sip, like a small cup going to church 2 weeks ago, but then I haven't had any. And then
it's actually nice to do that little bit of detox.
It's weird.
It messes you up for about 2 weeks because you realize how dependent on caffeine that you are. And you know what's crazy about cutting it out is like you actually almost need to take a nap. Like your body's like, nah, dude, like you're going to sleep right now. And if you don't have the ability to take a nap, you just got to you're like sleepwalking through that hour period of the day. Did you
that dip? Not this time. I've cut caffeine a couple times just to see, just because I didn't want to be dependent on it, like we were talking, like you just said. And there have been times where I've looked at the sourcing of the coffee that I was using and thought there's something to this mycotoxin thing.
I've heard about this mycotoxin.
And I switched over to different brands, and I went, oh wow, I feel different. And then there have been times where I was consuming a pod or two a day because my life needed it. I can't do that right now.
Well, and you also don't realize when you get up to that level, like, oh shit, I've had like 3 cups of coffee today. Like this isn't good, dude. And so many people drink the Celsius and Bang, and like they'll drink multiple a day, like Monsters and stuff.
The Rock Stars were my favorite.
The Rock Stars.
I would do a pot to a pot and a half of coffee plus 1 to 4 Rock Stars, just to get through, because I worked 3 jobs at one point after my first divorce.
Yep.
Or going through that first divorce. I had to, and I would get I could get 30 to 45 minutes of sleep a day for 3 days straight, just because of my schedule.
Yeah.
And then at that point, I was cooked.
You get cooked.
Yeah.
You get fried, and then like you're saying, with the lack of sleep and everything, like, shit just does not fire correctly. Like I'll get that sometimes if I'm not sleeping. You know what I've been doing lately is drinking water and then adding this electrolyte stuff.
Which one?
Something called Buoy.
I gotta check that out, because I've been using the Liquid IV and Redmond Real Salt. I dump a ton of salt in there.
So part of it, it's this one is just like electrolyte. So it has none of the other stuff in it, like the sweetener and things like that. No sugar or anything.
Gotcha.
It does taste like, when you put it in your water, it tastes like you're drinking like seawater. So
I enjoy that.
It doesn't taste good, but
I like that.
The way I do it, it comes in. You know those like Mio squeeze pouch?
Really, it's like that.
It's like that. So you squeeze a little bit in, and then I just put like a cup, basically like this much, just like a regular small cup of water, and squeeze some of that in, and I'll just chug it. That's how I drink water usually. Is I just like chug like little chunks of water at a time. But doing that helped at jiu-jitsu because I think I got like a little more for my brain to pull from. Because what I noticed too is like being tired, yes, good food, all that stuff, but man, if my brain is not like, if I don't have a clarity in my brain when I go to roll, I get my fucking ass kicked, dude.
What do you mean by that? Can you explain, like, by the clarity in your mind?
When you're just, when you're thinking and you are thinking, I hate to say it, like you're thinking clearly, like you're putting things together, like you are kind of in touch mentally, you're in touch with your body, and it's not in like a painful way. What did you get?
Oh, like a right hip cramp.
Oh,
like a glute hip cramp. There we go. I'll just put that other leg back up. I try to switch legs. Sorry about that. No. I get what you mean.
But when I don't have that clarity, I do get my ass kicked. Like it was probably a month ago, and I ended up getting not super injured, but like my rib is still not the same. Remember that night when I remember I was like I looked like I was dying.
Yeah.
So I won't say who it was because he fucked me up, but like I was just out.
I wasn't gonna ask.
Yeah, I was just out. It was fine. It wasn't his fault. It was like I'm just like so. In like within like 30 seconds, I just get taken down, smashed on my rib. My rib still hurts every time I like cough or sneeze. Just this one floating. Yeah. Oh. Still after like a month. So there's probably something fucked up in there. But
it took me like
we'll roll with it. We'll see.
5-6 months when I had a rib kind of cracked.
Yeah. We'll see. It's overall fine. And then like 10 seconds later, I got my face slammed into the ground and my eyelid actually got matte burned, and then something else happened. So, but it was just like one of those days where I was wiped out, and then my brain wasn't talking to my body, and I just got fucked up.
Jeez.
And it was one of those things where I was like, yeah, not like, oh, you deserve it, but it was just like, yeah, man, you did all of the wrong things that set you up to not be in touch with your brain and your body, like, and then you go into a 301 class, all blue belts that are just fucking on their way to purple. Like, there's not an easy roll in that class, and so
no, there isn't.
It's just like
there isn't.
All right, after 101, getting smashed by some pretty freaking strong people, and then 301, it was just like getting my ass dragged all over the place, and that's rough. And that was when I was like, dude, no, I'm drinking as much water as I need to. I'm doing this electrolyte stuff. Like that was the big change for me. I'll give you some. I have like a little bit left of one of the pouches. So
no way, thanks.
I'll give you the.
Appreciate that.
Just remind me.
Of course.
So I will forget for sure. So remind me.
No worries. That's where back to getting the blood work done. Sabrina, she's an autonomous nurse practitioner. She's my primary care provider.
Nusana,
yeah.
Nice, yep.
She and her husband Albert are fantastic. They're genuine, wonderful people, and they've changed my life for sure.
Really?
Oh my goodness, yes. I'm so much healthier. I with the schedule that I'm working, I would have ended up in the hospital for days, I'm sure, had they not, especially Sabrina being on top of everything with my health and the supplementation. I was low sodium. I was so far down on the end. She's like, you need to add some more every meal. And I said, well, I just started adding it to my water. She goes, keep that up. She goes, if you don't, you're going to be in trouble. I don't know how you're not cramping. I'm like, wow. Like it's crazy. And then the last time when I was in the hospital 2 weeks ago, they checked everything, and I'm looking at it, my sodium was still on the low end. I'm like, golly, like this is crazy. And I dump salt in my water.
Really?
From that Redmond's real salt.
Okay.
And that stuff, it's different. It's not table salt. It's unrefined. It's ancient sea salt from this big salt deposit out in Utah. It's incredible. It doesn't taste this. It tastes different, man.
We got this salt that's like a fancy cooking salt. My wife gets so mad when I use it on other stuff, but now what I do is I just go in and like take a pinch of that, put it right on my tongue, and then.
Oh yeah, you can dump the Redmond right in your mouth.
Yeah,
and it's not going to be like, oh, that burns like salt. In fact,
it's not iodized or any of that shit. It's probably
no, it's just 100%.
It's just big, flaky.
No, it's just pink and white, and it's got little dark mineral pieces in it, and it's.
How big are the pieces?
It's just like ground fine.
Oh, super fine. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, not like powdery fine. I have some in my car. When I go to leave, I'll get you some.
Give me some of that salt.
Yeah, you pour it in your hand.
A little of that salt.
Pour it in your hand and put it on your tongue. You'd be a convert. And it's not as expensive as some of that gourmet salt.
Yeah, that's what this is, and I'm just.
And it's probably from
stealing
like Italy or Nepal or something.
Yeah.
And you don't know what they're doing with. This is from Utah. It's American owned, American made. It's literally from America, like the actual ground of America.
That's cool.
That's what it is.
This is so expensive because we had a very short person climb up a mountain and then bring back a chunk in a backpack, and then they slowly chiseled it down.
Yep, and he got $3 a year for that. But it was the process that we're charging you for,
yes,
and the tools.
That's right. And
they're his own tools, but we're still charging you for them. And the packaging, and then my yacht. I have to fuel my yacht.
That's right,
because I came up with the idea of putting this guy to work.
That's right. And so if they've got that yacht, they got to call me so I can do maintenance tracking for that yacht.
That's what you do, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Do you know Josh Giordano? Joshua Giordano, who trains with us?
Probably.
Tall guy, he's white belt.
Josh.
He does insurance stuff for yachts. Like big. Dude,
I'm bad with names, but if Then
I'll link you guys up next time just so you guys can chat about things he has going on, because you never know, that might be a connection for both of you, because you're in the same world. I mean, maybe not the same boat. I had to.
I'm actually surprised at the lack of dad jokes that we've been telling on this show.
Oh my goodness, we haven't done any. I'm trying to think of some that are clean.
We don't need clean.
Okay.
It's up to you. The level of cleanliness is determined by you, dude. It's up to you, buddy.
Oh gosh, because all of them, I'm trying to think of the ones that
you don't have to force it.
Oh no, they're in my head, and I'm trying to sift through to get the cleaner ones.
Let them. They'll come as they. They'll come as they come.
Yes, they will. Oh my goodness, that's
no doubt about that, boy.
That's usually how it goes.
Goddamn, boy. They gonna come when they gonna come. What you gonna do?
Can't force it.
Nah, homie, where you make it.
But
guy likes to see homos naked, I guess.
That's such a good movie, too.
Nah.
Such a good movie.
Joe Dirt's fucking great.
It's crazy.
Puts the lotion on its skin. It puts the lotion in the basket.
Wow. Man, there was a link in the conversation to what you were talking about the military stuff, and I'm trying to think of what that was, because that was significant to loop it back. But what were your? You said you would like to.
When were you in the military?
96. So, pardon me. I had a little air there I had to let out. Top end. For the listeners.
For the listeners, Happy just got off all hands and knees and farted into the microphone.
If that had happened, they would have known. That happens though as I've gotten older, and be grappling with somebody and they get that good top pressure, and I'm like, hey, you did it. It's your fault. You put your knee there.
Hiding gas while you're rolling is a pretty tough one.
I think it's dangerous.
Yeah, you got to really let it out. You got to let it ease out slow.
Yeah, or you just let it go because you know it's just air and they tried to crush you. And it's not like you're trying to do that. It's like, hey, man, you got on top of me and tried to push my guts into the mat.
Well, that makes sense when you're rolling because then it's almost like a skunk, like it's like a defense mechanism. It's like
I didn't think about that part.
You earn this, but when you're just doing the drills and stuff, then it's like rude.
I don't know if it's natural, and especially as we're older, I think that older grapplers should be given some leeway with that.
You get some leeway.
Thank you.
Sure,
I appreciate that.
For sure, I'll give you leeway.
I've got a lot of white hair and some age on me.
Yeah, once you get to brown belt and above, I think you can. That's what the brown actually signifies. It's the ability to fart on the mat without.
Wow, that's got to be somewhere in some kind of like martial arts book somewhere.
It's actually in the IBJJF rules.
Wow.
Qualifications: 2 years, 2 years, 2 years. Now you can fart. 2 years, 2 years. So brown belt is you can fart. Black belts you can actually shit on the mat.
Thank goodness. I guess that depends. I mean, you should be wearing Depends or something. I'm not sure.
There it is.
What happened? I don't know, but he's got a black belt on, so it's fine. He can do whatever.
Yeah, this guy shit his pants and then he tried to triangle me. That's fucking rude, dude.
He's got the black belt. It's fine.
It's stinky.
It's fine.
That's where Stinkfoot came from.
No, that's not it at all. It's because he used to break people's feet.
Oh, dude, I bet. Dude, when he comes to town and like you get to
roll with him, cool.
He's cool as shit.
Have you rolled with him?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I feel like a child. You know who else I felt like a child with when Robbie came to town and I got to roll with him? I think that was the most times I've ever been submitted in a 5-minute period. It was just like, all right, clap hands. Oh, fucking tap. Okay. All right, let's reset here. Okay, clap hands. Oh, got something. Whoop, nope. All right, tap. All right, here we go.
It's crazy.
I'm not kidding. I'm not like over exaggerating. I tapped over 10 times in a 5-minute period of just like, oh, well, there we go.
And it's so smooth. And for
smooth as fuck.
Such a beefy guy. He's not like a skinny stick. He's got like big muscular arms and legs. And he's just so smooth.
Yep.
Another one who's smooth is B-Mac. It's scary.
I haven't gone to any of the seminars.
Man, I haven't been in town. And oh my goodness, the last time we got to roll with a bunch of his guys who had driven down from Bama, and they were just so much fun to roll with.
Yeah,
because they weren't trying to kill you, and they played jiu-jitsu with us. It's so much fun when you're with high-level people like that who, dude, they're wrecking people.
Just technique.
But they're just playing. They're letting you work a little bit, and then they're playing around, and you're just having a good time.
That shit's fun. That's why I'm glad I like rolling against blue belts because everybody's kind of trying to kill each other. So it does remind you when you're being a little bitch, and
good point.
To get past it. Even purple belts too. They've got something to kind of prove against a blue belt. Once I start rolling with like brown belts, black belts, things like that, it's very much more like smooth and you can play around because they're not like, generally speaking, like brown belts and black belts are not trying to beat you. It's more of like they're playing the game and like they're just paying attention to what's happening now and like just like, all right, well, I'll do this move because this is happening. I'll do this move. It's like not about me. They're not like worried about me or doing things in anticipation of me. It's like they're doing things in the game.
I like that.
You know what I mean?
That's how I try to play it. Yeah. Except there are some people who will go for it as if it's a little, there's like money on the line or this is a competition. And I do my best to be patient with that. But first, before that, I try not to roll with people like that.
Yep.
Because I don't have anything to prove. Yep. And I have a blast when Coach Fry says, hey, roll with me. I'm like, oh, good, thank you. Because I know that he could just destroy me quickly.
Yep.
Painfully. But he'll push me and make me feel like, dude, I think I accidentally hit the factory reset, and I started over in jiu-jitsu, and sometimes I'm like, this is so uncomfortable, but I'm loving it, because it's a different kind of uncomfortable where he's not being aggressive, he's not being mean, he's playing.
Yeah.
But it's fun because I'm like stuck. Yeah. But it's not so he's not trying to kill me, and you can feel the difference. And then some guys are trying to go too hard, and I'm like, bro, look, I don't want to do that, because I mean, if we both do that, one of us is gonna get hurt. It might be me because I'm older and I got some broken parts already, and I'm still recovering from some things. Like, you don't have to do that. If you beat me, so what? We're in here to get better.
Yeah.
And I love when it's a great roll and I'm getting tapped, because I'm going, oh, wow, that's cool. I got to watch out for that. And then days like today, learned every roll. First two, my first one was a very warmed up Arthur Pimenta, that 15-year-old blue belt who's the phenom. Sorry, for purple belt. Who's phenom. He's, dude. It's something. It's a different game, but he was not trying to kill me.
Yeah.
Neither of us were worried and nervous. Him because he knew he was just going to destroy me. All right, and I learned, okay, well, there's certain things. Ooh, wow, I made that mistake there. Oh, there's that. And then I roll with another black belt named BJ. Super cool dude. Love that guy. I mean, he's been wrestling. He started wrestling, I think, at 6 years old, he said. And he's 42. And he's been grappling his whole life. And he's just...
insane.
Oh, dude, he's jacked strong, too. But he's such a nice guy. And we were working on something. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, this is... What is this? And he goes, hey, I'm going to give you some insight into what I'm doing. And he told me. And it made sense, but it blew my mind because I hadn't been able to figure out why I was stuck in a certain way. Coach Fry does these things the same kind of things to me. Where I'm like, what is that? How come he's like, here, this is what I'm doing. You're not aware of this. Because this is what you do to beat it. He said, but I'm not going to let you do that because I already know it better and my timing's better. And I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like, oh, dude, this is a never-ending thing that's exciting for me instead of, oh, we'll never get it.
Yeah.
I'm constantly improving, but so is everybody else.
Yes.
Which makes me a better me, which makes me a better man. And eventually, when I get time with my now adult children, it's making me a better dad. Even with the distance. It's making me a better person out on the street. My nickname's Happy. I do my best to approach those crazy situations that we all run into in life with a better attitude each time, with a better focus, a better goal each time to make it the best interaction for those people. And the harder that life has gotten in certain situations and certain aspects of my life in this season, and I feel like I'm kind of, if you imagine you're in a fire in a valley, and you're kind of in a safe spot, but it hurts. It's hot, and you're getting burned, but it's not killing you. But if you sit still in it, you're gonna die.
Yep.
So you got to keep walking, and you're gonna die of smoke, inhalation, and burns. So you just keep going, but you can't run through it, and there's time. You got to wait for some of the stuff to burn out. Some of the stuff you kind of made a turn, and you put yourself in a situation where I gotta suffer a little bit to get through this, and that I feel like this is the right trail because you've been through some trails in life, but it's gonna take some time.
Yeah.
Like a couple more years. Jiu-Jitsu comes in. Like, dude, I've been doing this so long, which we talked about earlier. I can't put someone else's timeline on me because I'm going to go back to what we were talking about. Getting so frustrated about like, oh, I need to make it happen right now.
Yeah.
I need to be this much better right now. Well,
think about that shit all the time.
Right? I'm on my own path. And that's in life too. And that's been the hardest thing recently. Back to what you said about being a little bit depressed.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm overwhelmed with this sense of dread and depression. That's not the spiral.
Yep.
You know, it's like again, like I said, it's a season. And it's moments in a day or like portions of a day where you're tired and you're frustrated. And without the connections that we make through jiu-jitsu and the encouragement I get, it'd be a lot harder.
For sure.
And the flashback to when you asked about how long I was in the Marine Corps, it made me think about that. And man, I thought some days were like, man, this is hard. This is depressing. And it's like, oh, it was 13 weeks. So what? That's nothing. And then when you break it down in those chunks, Mike Langan said something about his experience in the military when he was going through Ranger School. He said he just knew if he made it to Sunday, he'd be okay. Just make it to Sunday. Make it to Sunday. He said you just work on each day, make it to Sunday. And the next thing you know, dude, he's 60-something, and he's still training after all he's been through. I mean,
yeah,
it gives you a better perspective.
Dude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a piss. Hold on.
Oh, have fun. I won't. I'm not gonna help you with that. I'm not gonna hold it for you. But thank you if I need to. I imagine you have a restroom, dude. This beat.
I needed to do that. Thank you.
It's human. It's a human thing. We all do.
It was. And you know, like with all this talk about support and like people we meet at jiu-jitsu, I felt really fucking lonely in there going pissed by myself.
I thought you were trying.
Left me.
All you had to do was say, hey man, bring that grip. I could have held your belt and I could help with the zipper.
Fuck, I've been working on my communication skills, dude. That's
all you had to do was just look at me and give me that look like, come on.
You just had to stare at me in the eyes for like 30 seconds before you went.
I don't even know if it's really that long. Was it with 30 seconds is what you needed? I'm okay with making eye contact. I've been uncomfortable in my life.
Yeah. I feel like the military definitely.
Oh my god, that's exactly what my brain. I just had a flashback to where you had to. I mean, you're just staring, and then they would yell at you for making eye contact too long, and then but then if you broke eye contact, they're like, "You're supposed to be go." I'm like, oh my goodness, would you? But so went in October of 1996. I had attempted the year before, but I needed a bunch of waivers. I needed a psych waiver, a medical waiver, a drug waiver. It was just marijuana, folks, and a little hashish. Which is, just
it's 96,
resin.
Dude.
Yeah, it was. That stuff was before 96, and then the psych waiver because they made me go to see a psychologist when my mom and my stepdad divorced. So they're like, "Have you ever seen a psychologist?" Or like, whatever, psychologist. The ologist or a trist. I don't know which one it was. I can't remember. But I had to sit there with this dude, and he's like, come on outside. I'm a chain smoker, so I can't sit in this nice office anymore. I need to sit outside. So he would sit downwind of me and just, like, rip cigarettes. He's like, you comfortable talking out here? I'm like, yeah, it's better than sitting there. I said, the couch is comfortable, though. That was 90% of it. I was in high school. They're like, it was my senior year in high school, I think. They made me drive there.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it was all right. My mom and my stepdad split. Whatever.
Yeah.
But they ordered me, it was part of their divorce thing. My younger brother and I had to go to counseling. And then they had us go into this one lady. I hadn't thought about this in years. Weird how this came up. And I just was uncomfortable with the lady. I was like, I don't like this. So they switched me to another lady, and they were like
opposites.
An hour away from each other, and we kind of lived in the middle. And I felt so bad because at first, yeah, my mom's driving me. Like, oh my goodness, this is terrible. Because they were trying to do like a counseling thing before they divorced. And then they made me go to the other one. So that was part of that. But boot camp, just getting yelled at and freaked out. I'm like, man, I knew this was going to happen. But when you're in it, it's like, this is really intense.
Is it?
And all my thoughts of, man, I'm going to do this in the military. I'm going to do that. I was like, no, I'm just going to survive. I want to make a career of it, though. The whole time, and they got me broken down pretty good a couple times, twice in the 13 weeks, where I was like, you know what? I don't know about this.
Really?
It was like 2 days. 2 days out of 13 weeks.
Yeah.
Where I was just so overwhelmed with just they would yell at you to do one thing and then yell at you for doing it. And then they would peck you with that drill instructor hat. It's like their Smokey Bear cover.
Okay.
They would peck you with it. Because they couldn't put, back then, at that point, they had changed the rules so they couldn't put their hands on you and shake you up and rough you up.
Okay.
Because some drill instructor had taken it too far and like put a kid in a hurt locker.
Yeah.
For real. So they would look around and they would get in your face, or they would put
this like peck.
They would, oh my gosh, right on look at this. I mean, you know, my nose is big, but they would pack the bridge of it.
Oh.
It was just whack, whack. But it was kind of cool because I'm like, okay, that hurts. But, okay, maybe this is just, I'm not used to this. I don't understand what this guy's saying because he's like, and that's half of it. Just accepting that you don't understand what they're yelling at you. And I'm like, why? I hear my name, Recruit Lambeth. I'm like, I don't know what you want, but sir, I sir. And then they're having you know, you're so-and-so recruit, whatever, and your squad, your third squad leader, what. I'm like, sir, you keep saying that, but what? And they say something clear, and I'm like, okay, waiting for the instruction that made sense, and then they would just bark, and I'm like, what the? Okay, and then you hear, all right, get up here and push. Okay, cool, I can get that. And then next thing you know, the thing's done. You're on to the next school phase, and then the next school phase, and then Okinawa, Japan, in the summer of 1997. And it was like landing in a weird movie. You're on the opposite side of the road, on the left side, and it looked like some of those old war movies you see.
Really?
Yeah, it was trippy, dude. Like that. Remember, because I'm pretty sure that yeah. So I'd studied Okinawan karate for a few years before I joined the Marine Corps. And, you know, after looking at it and watching the Karate Kid, remember the one where he went to Okinawa?
Okay.
And then you get there and you're like, what? Some of it looked like that, and then, you know, the other parts weren't filmed in Okinawa, Japan. But then you're there, and it's just so surreal because you're like, oh, I'm here. And I'm like, wait, I'm in another country. I'm living here. I'm here for at least a year, but I'm in the military. What is going to happen? And it was just exciting and a little surreal. It's the best way to put it. And I'd made some good friends when I was at military police school. One in particular, this guy named Robbie Pennington. And we're still real tight. And I got to go visit him out in Texas. He's like a little north of Houston, Magnolia. And they have a Carlson Gracie Academy there in Magnolia. So when I finally get out there, I'm going to roll there. And the guys there are really cool. They're all pro-military. Several of them are vets. And they have like a veterans train for free.
Oh, that's cool.
Out there. But I keep trying to get Robbie to do it, but he works for, I don't know, one of the government agencies, like some kind of law enforcement thing. He was a military policeman in the Marines, and he retired. What I wanted to do, but maybe Mama wanted to go back to Delaware, and I want her to be happy. And
are you from Delaware?
Yep. Well, that's where I grew up. I was born in Virginia.
Okay.
And then grew up in Delaware because my mom married my stepdad. Man, that guy's awesome. Love that guy. I call him Dad. He's the guy who raised me. He's phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
When I was younger, we butted heads. He all of a sudden learned. I mean, he just had to be a dad instantly because my mom was pregnant with my younger half brother there. I mean, I say that he's my brother, but I mean, just explaining.
Yep.
Because
I got a whole, not exactly that, but somewhat similar. So
yeah, you get it. Yeah, so my younger brother.
In the deep explanation, it's that, and then in the day to day, it's just your brother.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's because there's like Jimmy and Scotty are from my biological dad and their mom, and Siri's trying to jump in. Always trying to jump in.
Hello.
Like, and I didn't even say.
Are you asking for fertility rituals?
Exactly. I'm like, stop it. Just leave it alone.
Here's what I found.
Yeah, I found that you're not only the youngest, you're also the middle and the oldest brother, which I am. It's weird. So I'm the youngest of my dad's kids. I'm the middle of all of us. And then I'm the oldest of my mom's. So it's like I'm the worst of it all. Like the real black sheep.
Yeah.
For real.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I get it. Like, the same thing. Yeah, we have a whole complicated family. Freaking.
How many siblings do you have?
3. So you got a brother and then 2 sisters. So half brother, then sisters were adopted, but he's been my brother since I was born, so he's my brother. And then sister. So it's like, it's just all that kind of shit. You know what I realize? Like, family stuff is so strange. Like, it's not nearly as straightforward as almost nobody's life is as straightforward as it seems.
No,
and not
at all.
And the more, you know what I kind of realize, like, the more I go through, a lot of times, you can worry about what people will think of you, or like what they'll think about the way you're living your life. But at the same time, as long as you're not like doing fucked up things, like, there's not really like a right way to do it. And also, if you look out there, there's so many different ways that you can actually live life. Like, there's not it's so varied. Like, you can live life and literally do nothing. Like, you can sit and do nothing, and you could sit in your house and not leave, or you can go do like the most stuff, and you can be like Elon Musk and fucking do all this stuff. Or like most people, you find yourself somewhere in the middle of that. But it's I think it's initially a scary thought, but it's also can be freeing too, when you realize you can kind of live whatever life you want, but also you do have a limited amount of time to do it.
But you don't know what that amount of time is.
No, but you know it's limited.
Mm-hmm.
But also you don't until you do know.
So okay.
So when I
like that,
but until I had like my daughter Lana, logically I knew I would die. Of course, because just by sheer numbers, and you look like, well, everybody dies, of course, but like, probably not me. Like, like when you're younger, you don't really think about it. You can't really process it. And then I had her, and one day I think we were just hanging out, or maybe I was giving her a bath or something, but she was doing something that made me realize, like, okay, she's at this stage. I was at this stage at one point, and then also my parents were at this stage at one point, and my parents' parents were at this stage one point, like, of not really, like, she was really small, but old enough where she was a little autonomous, maybe like 3 to 6 months, where like they become like it's the first time they're becoming a person, like
I sure do know that.
They get out of that blob phase and they get into like she's fucking looking at me. Like, when I walk across the room, she's tracking me with her eyes, like that zone. And that actually put it into perspective of like, oh shit, like this runs out, like we only get so much time. Like, and I was that age and didn't know anything and like all of this stuff. And now I'm here and I'm going to keep moving. Eventually I'm going to keep moving to the point where I'm dead and I don't exist anymore. And that was was a moment where it was like, all right, what is actually important? Like, what should I be doing? Not like here's what you should be doing, and just how do I actually want to live my life? And not doing it in a completely selfish way of like, well, I just want to make music and do podcasts, so I don't give a fuck about anybody. Like, that's not the answer, but it's more like, hey, how do I actually set this thing up so I can live the life that I want to? So by the time I'm 50 or 60 or 70, like, I'm in a spot that I want to be. And that was a big eye-opener. It
makes sense because I'm about to turn 50.
Yeah.
And I'm not where I want to be and not where I should be.
Okay.
But I've had ups and downs, and I've had to make decisions that I was presented with options, and I went, well, I know this is going to extend my timeline to get to what I want, but I'll be alive.
Yeah.
Because there were a couple times where I'm like, man, if I don't move, I don't have anywhere to go. And that's hard as a man.
Yeah.
As a dad. And struggling with trying to find my niche since I got laid off in 2008. And also just even getting out of the Marine Corps. I wanted to do that. I want to stay in. I wanted to make it a career. And then choosing, okay, baby mama wants to go back to Delaware. All right, that's fair. All right, let's gotta do it. It was not easy. And as a man, I hated having to stay with, and it's not that I hated her parents. I hated not being able to just automatically be able to provide a better life for her and our kids. And it ate at me a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, so much tension. And you highlighted it like earlier. I was so worried about other people's perception, and that held me back because I held myself back with that because I was stressing about things and I wasn't able to balance it out. And fitness, health, martial arts has always helped me stay centered. When I'm not training, I'm not myself. And there have been a few times in my life where people have said, man, what's wrong with you? Well, I don't know, I'm not myself. Yeah. And they start going down a list. What are you doing? What are you not doing? Oh, you need to get back into martial arts. Thankfully.
It's always the common denominator.
It's weird.
Yeah.
That and working out and eating healthy. Now that my diet's dialed in nice. Nutrients are good. TRT's good. And now I need to get the sleep right. And I want to get back to working out more because I haven't worked out. And the training's harder when you're not in shape. Oh, dude. Yeah. Goodness.
Well, and it puts that mental strain on you because it starts to make you question your worth and why am I not progressing?
Oh, wow.
Why am I
Thank you for that.
Gassing out and all this stuff. Yeah, man. Dude, so the past 2 months I've been traveling for work and then also on and off sick. And part of it too, you know what I realized too with with COVID and everything? Nobody's ever going to admit that they're sick ever again. Not for a long time. Anytime I've been sick, I'm just it's fucking allergies, dude. It's fine. Everybody just suddenly has all these allergies now, but because they don't want to tell anybody they're sick.
What's funny is my immune system's insane, except for allergies. No, I'm dead serious. Perfumes and colognes and things like that.
My wife's got that shit.
It's horrible.
I never knew that existed. And my wife's like, yeah,
dude,
somebody had a perfume on. I was like, Like 3 hours? She's like, yeah, it's still in my nose.
Yes, and like I like my eyes will burn. I can't breathe. I feel like I'm suffocating. And people are like, "What's wrong with your face? You look like you're like swollen. I'm having an allergic reaction." I've had people like touch me with stuff on their hands, colognes and perfumes, and I rash out.
Really?
Yeah, it's bad. Damn. And then they'll certain things, certain chemicals, and I'm like, what
the fuck?
Also, I just noticed.
Yeah, I got some
nice shorts, bro. Nice shorts. Same brand. How'd that happen? That's wild. I wasn't looking above that. I was just looking at the Volcom stone. That's it, I swear. Not the other stone. Anyway.
Couple of stones right there.
What kind of stone are they talking about? The stoners or stones? I'm not. Stone cold.
That's why we didn't do fucking video.
Yeah, that's all we're wearing, by the way, is Volcom shorts.
Just shorts.
Just shorts. And a beer and headphones.
Goddamn right.
Yeah.
Goddamn right.
It's not moist or sweating here. We're just shaking up a couple beers. They don't know. No, they can't even tell. They're like, we can't verify that information.
Can't tell. We're not wearing furry outfits. For sure.
I mean, my fox up. Well, I didn't say it.
Dude, what I noticed, though, is when I was like, so the past month and a half, 2 months, I was like on and off sick. I was traveling for work and doing all this stuff. And like, I get this stuff where, you know, when you ever get it where like you're kind of on the verge of getting sick, and if you were to do like a real workout, you would put yourself into being fully sick? Well, I know, you guess you have a crazy immune system. So like
mine usually, like I'll sweat it out, and I'll drop it. Like I'll go and it'll like just come out the back end, and I'll like cough and puke, and like or a whole bunch of snot and mucus. That's all I'll usually get, and it's usually allergy related, like dirt and dust and perfumey stuff. And like cigarette smoke wrecks me, dude.
Really?
Oh my gosh. And unfortunately, cigar smoke does too. Even the high quality stuff will get me. Not as bad, but if I'm around it.
Just like, yeah, it's just wrecked.
But what's crazy is hanging around with my homies who rock the left-handed stuff. Like, weed smoke does not do the same thing to me. Yeah. I'm like, take a deep breath. And I swear it like relaxes my lungs and my sinuses, and it takes the, well, I mean, obviously, takes the edge off of things. But even when I'm just hanging around, you
don't have that like of the tobacco.
I'm not like I don't get a headache from it.
Yep.
And some of them, I've got some. I mean, gosh, you know, everyone knows the 10th planet system is, you know, there's something to that, and they're not shy about it. So when you're hanging out with them outside talking, and you're just like, I'm like, man, it's awful foggy back here. And then you're like, woo. And even when you're not actively participating, that stuff doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Now, where I live in Lehigh, across the street, it's because we live in the hood part of Lehigh, and the people across the street will fire up some ghetto weed, and it stinks so bad.
Really?
It smells disgusting. And it's like a giant wafting stench because they're smoking so much. And I'm like, at least get something good, because I know they're dealing. I mean, and they were dealing other stuff, and cars were going in and out all time of night, all crazy, bunch of different cars. And I'm like, that's an expensive car to be ripping through Lehigh in and out at, you know, multiple times at night, you know, all night.
Wonder what's going on over there.
So, like, if you're doing that, I know you can source better things.
Yeah.
It smelled bad. Like some of the people I know who have.
But it was weed though. It wasn't other shit.
No, of course. I don't know if they were lacing it with anything, but it just smelled like terrible. Like, are you smoking some pine needles and is that a maple leaf that you wrapped it in? Because it stinks. It just smells rancid.
Really?
Oh, it's nauseatingly bad. You ever been behind somebody? Well, oh my gosh, that's right. I forgot. On the way to the grounds today to do the turkey rolls, this guy swerving as he comes up to the stoplight at Daniels and Tree Line. And I pull up behind him, and he's like banging his bowl, his glass bowl, against the side of he's tapping it against the side of his car. And he looks in his side view mirror and gives me like a stink eye. And I'm like, man, this dude looks like he's like probably like in the middle of my kid's age range. And then he gives me a stank eye. And then he packs it and lights it up while he's driving. He's smoking it and like rolling the smoke out the window, and then reaches out and taps it again. But he's all over the road. I'm like, are you serious? And it didn't smell that great. So I turned it to the recirculating. I'm like, golly, dude. Really? You're smoking a bowl, swerving all over the road, giving people stank eye, like, golly, mister. I don't think it's working. Normally you should be chill, like calm down. Well, why are you doing that? And just totally out of it. Like, wow, I think there's the limit. You smoke too much, dude. And I used to think, oh, that's not possible. And I've seen it happen. Gosh, even I admit when I was younger, I did one time that I was like, whoa, that was too much.
Getting zonked out.
Oh my goodness, that was one of the ones that went on my military waiver. Like I was like, yeah, I did that a couple times. Was around it and stuff. But then
I was just nearby.
Yeah, well, no, I admitted it the 3 times.
I tripped and I fell, and then I happened to be breathing, and somebody was holding it right by my mouth.
Yeah.
And so I just had to really breathe because I'm also claustrophobic a little bit, but not anymore for the military, so don't really worry about the claustrophobia.
You know what's funny that you brought up claustrophobia? I'm super claustrophobic.
Well, I kind of have claustrophobic.
Like, jiujitsu is what helps me with that.
Dude, it does help you. It does help you fucking calm down in those situations.
Oh my goodness, yes. But sitting under, like crawling under my car. My car's lowered. But putting it up on ramps and getting underneath it. I just think I focus on where I'm going, like what do I have to work on, and that's it. And then I'm out. And I'm like, whew. Even that, but
just take a deep breath.
Oh my goodness, it's right. Terrible. But jiu-jitsu
imagine being on that fucking Titanic little thing.
No, or the ball turret on a B-52 bomber. No way am I crouching in that thing. Yeah. No, sir.
Sketchy.
Yeah.
Makes you, dude. I look at that stuff. I'm like, those guys are fucking men.
That's it. Back to what I was saying about not feeling like a man sometimes, and the test has helped me stay calmer. Because, I used to think, oh, well, people roid rage or whatever. Yeah, I could see it, but I mean, you have to be cranking way, way high on that. And I've seen guys do it, but I was edgier and more reactive, explosive reactive, and my test has been low most of my life.
Really?
For my age range, all throughout my life. I found out when I was in the Marine Corps, they were like, yeah, so you're on the low end, and they were showing me the range, and I'm like, what? What do we do? They're like,
why am I so fucking angry?
They're like, well, and they didn't even say it that way. But looking back as I'm doing this now, and over the last couple of months of doing research on it, and oh my goodness, I'm way calmer and not as emotionally reactive.
Well, it's like probably you offset that estrogen.
My estrogen was.
Stop buying as much shit off at Amazon as well.
Well, I never was that guy, and I never was a girl. Just clarifying, I'm me. I'm a man. But and also when it was fun, like I had stopped using air fresheners when I realized, and like scent things when I realized that those were causing headaches, sickness, like breathing problems. Because I was using this stuff, and I'm like, man, one of my doctors was like, dude, you got to stop that.
Yeah.
That stuff's toxic. And I'm like, I started doing research. I'm like, oh my goodness, I got rid of it. Because I was the guy, like, I'd get cologne even when I was younger. And now I'm like, oh, I feel so bad for anybody else around me who had problems. And I feel bad for younger me that I didn't understand that that's what was doing it.
Yeah. You know what? Old people wear so much cologne because they can't smell anymore. It's so fun. It is funny. Like, my grandma, like I'm Italian, so like she's from like I think from the Bronx originally, but Like she grew up there. So like she's just that old school Italian, like wears a shitload of perfume. It's so fucking funny. But like my wife is like super allergic. So she does a good job of like trying to like wear less of it, but she'll be like, I barely wore any. She's fucking loaded with it.
Oh yeah. A lot of people do that.
Yeah. But old people really do it, and it is pretty funny.
It is, and with lotions too. I had somebody say, lotions. "Dude, I got a super unscented when they put it on, and I wanted to go. You still smell like a girl guy. You do. You got a girly kind. They have some that are because they'll say, oh, it'll be like lightly scented, or they don't read the ingredients. It's like, and it is what it is. People are gonna do what they're gonna do.
All this, you know, what's crazy? All this shit's loaded with fucking metal and all this stuff.
All kinds of toxins.
Yeah.
And your skin is a giant organ. And that's why I stopped using a lot of stuff that I used to. And I make my own beard oils. And yeah. This year, I keep saying this, but this time I'm going to do something about it this year, 2024. And just, I got to get some labeling and some packaging going and just start small and do what I can.
Yeah.
And I've had some friends help me to like, here, test this. I know that some of them don't like certain essential oils, so I'll cut that out of my personal
batch and then give them like a little bit.
Yeah, I made a batch for a couple different people.
That's cool.
2 guys in particular were like, well, I can't deal with this, and this. And the other guy was like, I don't like this. This is gross. So I made one for each of them that worked. And they're like, oh, that's perfect. And I'm like, wait a second. And then I made one for my brother because he's like, I don't like this. I like kind of like a citrus. And then I just haven't made it in a while. I've just been working so much. And I need to get back into that. And I had a beard balm.
Yeah.
I finally figured the formula out. It's just been tough because I don't have the space that I need to set up everything. Spend an entire day doing it because it takes a solid
day.
Yeah, I want to say a solid 10 hours, 8 to 10 hours of just focusing on that because, you know, you got to clean and sanitize everything before because I keep everything very clean. I don't want any contaminants in anything because I know what it's like just having somebody shake my hand. And I'm like, and I'm trying to wash it off, but it's absorbing in my skin. And then I like accidentally touch my face and it's on my face. And then I'm like, man, I got a headache. And people are like, why is your face red in that spot?
And it's like, because I went to Chris's house and right before he was just rubbing on his own butthole and shook his hand.
He has that New York, 1932 New York butthole scent oil for men.
That's right.
It's made with 100% synthetic ingredients.
And lanolin.
Yeah.
So it adds a little extra slick to it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess you need that.
Too.
I guess you need that.
Yeah.
Helps you walk faster. Less friction.
I'm like way more aerodynamic, dude.
Yeah, and there's no cheek friction.
Everyone's like, why do you have so much Astroglide? I'm like, dude, I walk so much faster with it. Don't fucking ask me any more questions about the Astroglide. It has nothing to do. It's for my biking and it's for me walking really fast. Stop asking me questions about it.
That's what it is. It's so that you have no inner thigh and knee friction, and then you have glutes.
That's only friction I'm worried about.
Glutes. You have to worry about the upper.
Not worrying about my glutes. Okay? I don't use it for my glutes. Too.
You use the lanolin and synthetic scented.
I don't need to make my glutes aerodynamic, dude.
Well, they're not aerodynamic.
Sometimes it slips in there, but that's it. It's not for that.
But there's no friction then. Then the 2 gluteus maximus muscles can just glide past each other without creating friction and lighting things on fire.
That's right.
No chafing, no fire.
That's right. Just my own 2 butt cheeks. That's all.
And then everything else.
And then no more questions, please.
Yeah. It's a personal decision.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you have a whole lot of Scotch tape up there. It's not like it's like a personal waxing kit.
And a little WD-40.
And is that hand sanitizer?
That is a large. Wow, that's a large.
Big bottle of sanitizer. And 2 measuring tapes. What is going? And you have 2 levels below that, and the next level. Wow, that's funny. And the next level below.
That's right.
That's wild.
Yeah, and we got some. It's called T-Rex tape.
What?
That's enough to.
T-Rex tape, is that similar to Gorilla tape, but
yeah, probably
stronger?
It's from like a waterproof emergency marine kit, so that way if you have to like legit, there's like a hole in your boat and you have to like slap that tape on, it'll at least.
Are you serious?
It'll at least hold it for a little bit.
Isn't that like Flex Seal type thing?
Probably something similar to that.
Wow, that's a real deal. Like you could be out there. You know, what if Gilligan
Had some of that fucking.
and the skipper had that?
TV would be different, dude.
Yeah.
The entire course of history would be done. It would have just been probably like a 5-hour tour, and that's it.
Maybe 7 because they were unconscious for a little while.
Could have been.
Then we go, oh, I'm up. Oh, so let's patch the hole. Which I don't understand. They had so many things they could have patched the hole with. But that boat was there, and they just stayed there. I've never thought about that.
I wanted to be alone on an island with those ladies at first. Then...
Yeah, and why did the Howells have so much crap with them? I never thought about this till now. All the things that they had with them. So, remember Thurston and Lovey?
I don't remember at all.
Because you're young. I'm old. I remember sitting there being forced to watch that show. Like, this is so weird. And I always thought, why didn't they just fix the boat? And then it clicked one time, and right now it's finally processing. Because I was like, this is weird. 3-hour tour, and then now they had so much crap for a 3-hour tour. It's like programming. That's what it is. TV programming. They're programming us to just do what they want. I'm sure there's some subliminal messages in there.
Probably.
Like hairspray commercials. Because their hair looked hairsprayed all the time.
Hair looks great.
I don't know. I wouldn't say great. It's just not my style.
A little coiffed.
Yeah, and how are they so clean? Like, how are the professors' clothes so clean? And
yeah, it'd probably be closer to Lord of the Flies.
Oh, yeah. Did you read the book first or watch the movie first?
Can't remember. I think I read the book in school or something.
I did too. And then I remember when the movie came out, like that was my era. So it was several of us, and I think it was a bunch of chorus people when I was in chorus in high school.
You were in chorus?
Yeah, I could sing a little bit back then.
Sing something right now.
Oh, geez.
Sing your best Celine Dion right
Yeah. No. Oh, my goodness. You would say Celine. I ended up getting roped into seeing her in Vegas. It was an experience.
Yeah.
She can sing, and she's a great performer.
But
that's not my style of stuff. I'm not into that. And I don't even know any Celine Dion off the top of my head.
Dude, I had to sing Celine Dion's song when I was in first grade or fifth grade or something. It was either my kindergarten or my 5th grade graduation. Like the whole class had to sing a song. You were my voice when I was weak. Like that song. We had to sing that. And so even going back at such a young age, I was such a cynical prick that I just mouthed the words.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah.
No way.
I like singing and stuff like that, but I'm like,
know.
You're not going to tell me what to sing. Like,
how are they going to know that you mouthed it?
They wouldn't. So that was the benefit. People, we had to do just.
Where was that?
It was in New York. It was just like
New York City, New York?
Long Island. It's a suburb.
Oh, that's right. I remember you saying, yeah.
And so it was, I don't know. We had to do stuff like that. It was, I don't know. It was fine. And like looking back, I probably should have just sung and not been so about it. But then, I wouldn't be 31-year-old sitting in a garage talking on a podcast with fucking mental problems. So,
everyone has them.
Yeah. But then I wouldn't broadcast them to the world. That's fucking... I'm not going to sing this song. Fuck you guys.
Somebody else needed to hear that. They're going, me too, bro. Yeah. And they know what they're doing? They're taking that list that they had written with all the names on it, and now they're burning the list because they know it's better to keep going and not end up in prison.
Yeah, that's right.
Trust us. It's not. Just don't go to prison.
You know what? As you go to put those fucking Totino's pizza rolls on that platter and put it in the oven, put the fucking list in there too.
I don't know. Maybe that's too toxic. You know what? Throw out the Totino's and go get Against the Grain brand. That's not an advertisement, but it is. So they have this grain-free, toxin-free pizza stuff.
Really?
Yeah, it's great. But they have pizza rolls now. They just started. I haven't found them yet, but they're out there.
This is like the fucking Shiner Bock holiday beer. Fucking how exclusive it is.
Goodness.
Dude,
you got to go find
some. You got to come with some fucking pizza rolls.
I will.
Eat them right into the microphone.
And I'll find it. Oh, I already have. We're going
to increase the game.
Do you like hard cider as well?
I'll drink some hard cider.
Oh, my goodness. Have you ever had Ace brand? Hard pineapple apple cider.
No.
And right now, Derek Gutierrez is going insane because he loves that. So does Coach Fry.
Really?
Uh-huh. Oh, I'm telling you.
What is it? Ace?
Ace brand. It's Ace.
At Ace brand. Hardware.
No. That's the place with the helpful hardware person.
Oh, okay.
Because they changed it because people are offended by genderizing things that.
What did they change?
Left and right and up and down, east and west, north and south. No, it's north and west. What? No, I can be whatever direction I want to be. Well, I mean, not when the sun is rising in the east and setting in the west.
Does it sit there, though?
It doesn't set, technically, but it's a perception of that.
There you go. It's all perception.
Mm-hmm. Some things are. Some things aren't. I know what water is.
Do you?
I do. I've been in it. And I've consumed some with salt in it. It's delicious. It's good for you. But... they're Sebastopol, California, whatever. They're out in Cali. They have several delicious hard ciders. My favorite is their pineapple.
Okay,
and it is wonderful. And I have a couple other beverage selections that I already have in mind.
Ace. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
Hard cider, pineapple.
Mm-hmm.
Can you get it at most places?
Publix.
Really?
But you know how we talked earlier.
Yeah.
Not every Publix carries the same thing. So you go in there and like food-wise too, but definitely with the, the baby items label. Sorry, I just noticed on there. That's impressive.
Yeah. Oh, I label all this stuff. I'm very organized. I did all that. I am actually a very organized person.
Did you paint those on there or are those stickers?
No, they're stickers.
Okay.
No, I'm not organized. Dude, if my wife didn't do all this shit, I would. You came in the house, you're like, oh, wow, this looks really nice. I could live in a fucking box with nothing on the walls, and I would have no idea. Like, what color is the art on your walls? And I'd be like, I'd really have to think about it. And then they'd be like, it's a trick question. You don't have anything on your walls. You're like, oh. All right, fair enough. That is legit how it is. Like, it might as well not exist. I fucking have no idea. Like, I don't notice these things. And it has an impact on me. It has a genuine impact on my well-being in my
really
mindset. Like, yeah, if things are organized and all this stuff, like I feel better, all that stuff.
Oh yeah, I didn't know where you're going with that. I thought you were talking about the fact that you didn't choose artwork as having an impact on you. I'm like, wow, you need to hit the mats inside. More. You need to roll more.
It definitely has an impact, but I won't consciously notice it. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody was like, "Hey, what is this, like an art piece on your wall in this place?" I really have to think about it. Because I'm here, I've been here all day. I could tell you, but if I go on a trip or something, if you called me when I'm on a work trip or something, like, what's it? Like, there's probably a fucking painting somewhere. Yeah,
I'm sure there's a boat, and one looks like there's a sand dollar.
There's probably a bird somewhere.
Yeah, in there. A sand dollar, a starfish, and a stick.
We tend to like birds, so I'm sure there's a bird somewhere in there.
Yeah. It's a plover. It's one of them plovers.
A little piping plover.
Yeah. Everyone goes for the standard piping plover.
Everybody loves a piping plover. Dude.
I wonder if piping plovers would like hard apple cider. I'm sure they would.
They would. Well, there's only one way to find out.
We have to raise a plover from birth. I think isn't that something with the legality in Florida? You can't harness one up. You can't like snare it or however you would have to snare it.
Dude, that's gonna be the name of this episode. Fucking piping plover.
Dude. Do it. That's sick.
And the way that we make the artwork now is, I just put in an AI generated caption.
Are you serious?
See what it comes up. So we'll see what kind of plovers come up.
Oh my goodness!
Caption.
It's probably some jacked animal plover in
Somebody's gonna hear it and see piping plover and be like, "What the fuck are these?
What are they doing? You ever having piping plover pizza rolls?
Outrage the birding.
Yeah, I know. There's like an animal hospital on Sanibel. They're gonna message. Excuse me.
They're gonna firebomb the ground.
No, what they're gonna do is they're gonna want to sponsor it, or they're gonna want to get an ad on here.
And then they're gonna listen and be like, "What the fuck is this, dude?"
I thought you were talking about piping plover pizza rolls.
We did. Yeah, we put piping plovers in the pizza rolls, dude.
No, it's for it's non-toxic, so the piping plovers can eat them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and have some Ace pineapple apple or hard cider because it's good for us, good for them.
Setting it off right, dude.
Yeah, it's all clean ingredients, gluten-free.
Dude, we're at an hour and 45.
Are you serious?
What do
It
you
doesn't even feel like that.
What do you want to tell the people before we wrap up?
Don't give up. It doesn't matter how hard your situation is. Other people have made it through harder. And I'm speaking from my position in a really tough season in my life right now, where, as Chris highlighted earlier, we all go through some depression. Whether it's just a short season or if it's a long season, it could be a couple hours, could be a couple days, could be a couple years. But there is something on the other side of that. And it's like a refining fire. There's a Latin term. Ignis aurum probate miseria fortis viros. Fire tests gold, misery, strong men and women. But the thing is, that's where you gain the strength and the going on and reaching out to people who are in your circle. You got to have the courage to ask for the help, and just sometimes that help could be as simple as, "Hey, I need to talk this out." And I admit, the other day I was feeling embarrassed because I'm a man and I feel like I know I should be further along and have my whole life balanced out better. But I'm not giving up. There are days where I'm praying, I'm like, all right, God, look, I'm tired. I just want to go to sleep. And I don't want to die. But man, I'm so exhausted. If you wake me up, cool. It means I'm keeping going. If not, man, I'm so tired. I'm going to welcome that long dirt nap. But I'm not suicidal. I'm not saying I want to.
No, I get it.
I want people to hear.
You want a fucking relief.
Yeah, man. I want the weight off.
Yep.
I want the fire to stop. It hurts. And as men and as women, especially when we've gone through things. I've gone through 2 divorces. And both of those women are awesome moms, man. And they're good people. Just that things happen in life and we end up where we are. And then sometimes, and I'm speaking from my perspective, somebody in a situation in their life, some of you are having a great life and you look back like, wow, now, I just made it happen. Awesome. Good for you. I haven't given up, but I've busted my butt trying to make it work and things have fallen apart. I've had the best laid plans that fell apart. Don't give up.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to make it. There are days where I'm not so sure, but I don't give up. And I have homies like you, Chris. I have the team at the Grounds MMA Academy. And if you are listening to this and you have never tried Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai kickboxing, Krav Maga, MMA, or even just straight street boxing, we have a dope class for that. It's not so much about, hey, I'm learning this martial art because I'm going to be a badass. It's about, I have this community and they're going to help me fight through the hard times in life. I won't be fighting alone. All these things are individual arts, because you're learning to contend as you're by yourself. You don't. It's not like you're in some G.I. Joe movie.
Well, and it's also you're doing it. You're always competing against yourself.
Facts.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't give up. Just and find a group. Whether it's whatever you believe in as a higher power, whether you have you have to find some kind of community to get plugged into where it's positive. Being in a destructive group or a negative group, negative mindset that's just going to spiral you down. We talked about that earlier. So don't give up. And if you're listening to this and you see us anywhere on the street, or you want a moment, reach out through the podcast, and Chris will give you my information, and then we'll get you in for a class, or heck, I'll just sit and talk with you and have a cup of coffee, if that's all it takes. Because sometimes that's all it takes.
Agreed.
So keep going, all my homies and homettes out there, and if you're into drinking beer, check out some Shiner. See if you can find some holiday cheer. There's your quest.
Shiner holiday cheer.
Yeah. And these and against the grain pizza rolls. Tell me if you can find them. Let me know.
I will.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna find them.
Thanks, dude.
Dude, thank you. This is dope.
You.